Hello and welcome to the EduTalk series hosted by Biotone, Biotone EduPartners School Program, and massage industry experts. With the continued interest and popularity of the EduTalk series, Biotone continues to support virtual learning and building massage community by connecting you with industry experts who share their knowledge and expertise on topics not only for class discussion, but career success. Today's expert is Ariana Vincent, CEO and founder of Ariana Institute for Wellness Education. She's an approved NCBTMB CE provider and is a nationally known massage therapy instructor. With over 40 years as a massage therapist and 20 plus years as a massage therapy instructor, Ariana was recognized in 2013 as the CE Provider of the Year from the Alliance for Massage Therapy Educators, and in 2015 was inducted into the Massage Therapy Hall of Fame. Let's listen and learn as Ariana provides insights into the process of becoming a massage therapy instructor and CE provider. She'll walk us through how to actualize your full potential through teaching and make a meaningful difference in both your life and the lives of your students. She'll discuss the educational processes, curriculum design, classroom activities, professional development, marketing, and more. Again, thank you for joining us, and sound and video off. Tomorrow, please watch your inbox for a follow-up email, which includes today's recording, a copy of Ariana's handout, and her contact information. If you don't see it by the afternoon, please check your junk folder or spam folder, or feel free to email me for a copy. And with that, welcome, Ariana. I know you have a lot to get to. We're pleased to have you here tonight. And I'm going to exit the screen and return at the end of your presentation to answer chat questions. Thank you, and here you go.
Thank you very much, Donnell. I'm honored to be part of the EduTalk series. It's sponsored by Biotone. My first introduction to Biotone was when I was in my core curriculum massage classes, and we used Biotone products there as we were learning the massage techniques, and I learned to love them. And then I was awarded the Alliance for Massage Therapy Educator, Continuing Education Provider of the Year. And with that award, I got a beautiful crystal apple for the teacher, and I also got a very generous supply of Biotone products. And so I was able to deepen my connection with the Biotone community, and I really appreciate what you do in providing a quality product, and also encourage educators and members of the massage therapy profession to be their best and to continue their education and offer these wonderful free seminars. It's just great to be able to talk to someone for half an hour and talk about something that is near and dear to my heart that I dearly love, and that's the field of massage therapy. And my particular focus and specialization at this point in my career field is being a massage therapy educator. When I first started massage back in the 80s, I really loved the people that I met in the massage community, and I knew that this was more in alignment with my lifestyle and my consciousness, and the way I wanted to live my life and relate to others around me. And so the deeper I got involved in the massage profession, the happier I became. It was just wonderful to expand my modalities, and then by learning and going to workshops and conferences and national conferences, local conferences, and I really appreciate all the support I've received from people at the World Massage Festival, the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education, the American Massage Therapy Association. It's just been the National Certification Board for Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork. felt so supported by those organizations, as well as individuals within those organizations and outside of those organizations, including my husband, Michael McIver, who's a rolfer, and Susan Salvo, who's been very supportive and instrumental to me, especially in developing this massage therapy instructor uh, course and the course notebook. I'm very grateful to the people who are part of the massage therapy community. In my world, I have four people working for me, and one of them is Stephanie Friesendorf, and her contributions have just been phenomenally successful. She's also a massage therapist, and she has her master's in education, and she's just a tech wizard. So it's great that I've been able to surround myself with people who have become very meaningful to me in my lives in the massage community. I said lives because it feels that way. I started out as a therapist and started then eventually after 20 years decided to become an instructor. And that's what I did back in 1999. I became a nationally certified massage therapy instructor. So now I'm going to get some PowerPoint presentations up for you to see, but I'm not going to read them to you. I know you'll be relieved to hear that. So here's the first presentation, the first slide, becoming a massage therapy instructor and a CE provider. It varies from state to state, but in Texas, you need to have both licenses as an MTI and a CE provider. And so I have both of those licenses in Texas, and then I'm also nationally approved, which allows me the opportunity to offer classes in many states throughout the United States. So I'm very, very grateful to NCBTMB for providing that platform of a wonderful educational organization. I've been in the massage profession for 40 years. I'm with the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations, which is our regulatory body. And of course, as I mentioned, the National Certification Board. I asked myself, what is a massage therapy instructor? For me, I chose to work independently and create and offer my own continuing education classes. And there are other options available. You could work at a core curriculum school, or you could work at a school that offers only CE classes, or you could be a guest instructor, lending your expertise to massage students. You could also work for a national organization that teaches courses in different locations, including one of the fun things is going to exotic locales. Like I've taken classes in Costa Rica with Whitney Lowe, and I really enjoy that flexibility that you have as a massage instructor that you could teach anywhere in the world. I have a friend who's teaching in Norway, and he just goes there every year and just loves it. So that's one thing. One of the many things I love about being a massage therapy instructor is the flexibility, the autonomy, and also the opportunity to work within the framework of a group if you want to do that. Continuing education provider, it's a license that is required in Texas to offer a continuing education certificate of completion. And so I do that, and all of my courses have been very carefully designed around the parameters that are required by both NCBTMB and TDLR, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. So that was quite a process setting everything up, but now that it's set up, it's pretty smooth sailing. Now that once I got a framework for my teaching, and then I would just plug in information about different topics, and that's been really fun. I offer 33 different courses, and that's just wonderful to be able uh, to spread out, and to see what was of interest to me in the massage community and what I feel qualified to teach. We have classes ranging from prenatal care to deep tissue, which is one of our most popular classes, aromatherapy. We have business classes that include marketing and practice building, which I highly recommend. And these are all classes I wish I'd taken when I was a young student. And I feel like I gained so much from my core curriculum education in terms of learning Swedish massage, which was all that the state of Texas allowed schools to teach at the time. And so I had a grounding in Swedish massage and anatomy and physiology, a little bit of business, which was helpful to me. And then I began continuing education. I tried to take at least 2 classes a year And if I took classes independently with people who are offering classes, my hometown is Austin. So most of my original continuing education instructors came from the Austin area. But then eventually I began going to national workshops like the World Massage Festival, the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education, and taking workshops and studying with nationally known instructors. And that was really fun too. I enjoyed that quite a bit. The most recent experience I had was going to the World Massage Festival in 2024 in Cherokee, North Carolina, and I just enjoyed that tremendously. And I created the Ariana Institute for Wellness Education website back in 2000, so it seems just like yesterday. And I had a great team helping me. It was just beautiful. And then prior to that, I began, as I said, in 1982 in the 80s. I was employed as a massage therapist and at a family wellness resource center in Austin, and gained a lot of information there and deepened my experience and education around clinical massage, which is a very strong interest of mine, is the aspect of clinical massage. And I also appreciate the shall we say, non-clinical, the more esoteric emphasis of meditation and centering yourself and being fully present for your massage clients as you're working with them. Um, I was inspired by serendipity, really. I met some great people who were teachers and some excellent massage therapists, and they encouraged me and propelled me into Art Riggs said, "Why don't you write some books?" And so I wrote some books. They're in the background here, and that they're all available on Amazon. And let's see, there are the festivals. I've had 20 years of experience, which feels really interesting to me. I never thought I'd even live this long, much less continue to be working productively as a massage instructor, which is something that I did want to mention, that as a massage therapist, it really it takes a certain kind of energy, a certain amount of energy, and so does working as a massage therapy instructor. I really am happy that I was able to start out as a massage therapist, so I really have walked the walk. And then I eventually began teaching after working as a massage therapist and taking a lot of CE classes. So that was a wonderful stepping stone, not just a stepping stone for me, but it allowed being a massage educator allowed me to continue working in a profession that I just really love. And that was such a blessing in my life. And so the regulations for becoming a CE provider, the rules and regulations vary greatly from state to state, which is why I'm so grateful for NCBTMB um, providing a focal point where people can learn about different providers and explore different courses that are available. Why did I become an educator? Well, as I said, I wanted to stay in the massage field, and so I was able to work as a massage therapist and then as a massage therapist slash educator. And now for the last, let's see, 8 years, I have been strictly focusing on working as an educator. I love to share knowledge that I've learned. It gives me such a warm feeling to know that I've made a positive contribution to someone's life, and that this will not only help their life be better, but help their help them generate an income. It's really nice to have multiple streams of income. And when you take continuing education classes, especially like the massage therapy instructor class that I offer, this can really help you have a stream of income where you're not just reliant on seeing clients. As we learned during COVID, it became very, very difficult for people who were forced to close their businesses down because of the pandemic. And so I was uh, grateful, but of course sad that we had to experience COVID, that we did have an online learning platform that people could use during a time where everyone else had to be isolated. And I love giving back to the profession that I admire and appreciate. And as I said, multiple streams of income. Great. And so when you are an MTI or CE provider, I'm not just going to read to you, but you look at the population that you serve. And the population we serve as massage therapy instructors are called non-traditional students. and they usually pursue education at a later point in life. In fact, I did some research yesterday and found out the average age of a massage therapist is 43. And when I started teaching, it was in the 30s. So it looks like we have a generation that is interested in being a massage therapist throughout the period of a lifetime like me. So we talk about things in my MTI class about preparing your classroom. When I began teaching, I didn't have any information like this. And so it was learning from the masters who I had studied with, but it was not a comprehensive, all in one place course notebook or course. And so I learned to prepare my classroom by researching it and talking with people and using every continuing education experience I had as a learning experience in two ways. One, I gained the information, and two, I learned how they taught. And so most recently, the course that I took in Costa Rica with Whitney Lowe was just phenomenal because he's rather famous for having great graphics, and he did indeed, he did not disappoint. So I was great graphics, and they turn and move and three-dimensional and go this way and that way. And I was very, very impressed. And uh, it's nice to study with brilliant people and use them as your role models. And so that's what I did for the whole career experience that I've had. And I learned how to prepare my curriculum. And in my course notebook, it talks about how you design your syllabus, for example, and then how to design your classroom. You can do U-shaped classroom, auditorium, or amphitheater. There's so many different ways to design a classroom. You can have a table set up in your living room and have people sitting around the table, and then have your massage table set up so two people at a time, or sometimes three people at a time, can actually work on the fellow student. So each person gets a chance to watch what the teacher's doing and then integrate that into their own touch, because we're all very kinesthetic people in the massage community. We learn by hearing, seeing, and touching. And so I'm very much a proponent of doing in my classes. There's a whole topic of motivating adult learners. It's a very interesting, very interesting topic. I've always been curious about what motivates people and what motivates me. And so I looked at that and did some research on that also. And just creating challenging, thoughtful learning experiences tend to motivate people, and you engage people instead of just talking at them. Talking to them and listening carefully, reflectively, and giving people an opportunity to ask questions and give feedback, and then actually experience if it's a technique course, experience the technique, and then watch the teacher with the technique, and then do the technique, get feedback from the student you're giving the technique to, and then you receive the technique. So you learn in so many multiple ways. It's just wonderful. Just so we're such amazing creatures, and the way we learn and what we learn and what we're moved to learn. And so 6 factors that serve as motivation, well, they're social relationships and personal advancement, cognitive interest. And that's one thing for me about being a massage therapy instructor, especially at this stage of life, is it keeps me feeling active and vital and keeps the glial cells in the brain turning. And I'm always curious to see what's around the next corner and what the next learning opportunity will be. In my course notebook, we talk about ways to improve your lectures. And so like stressing important points and looking at your audience, not just reading from a screen, and fit your lecture to the audience. That's so important. Read the audience and see if they are, need to stand up for a minute. Is it break time? You need to stand up and do I won't say hokey pokey, but, just move a little bit, get the energy flowing. And then instructional material is so important, the course syllabus, lesson plans, a written protocol for a CE provider. The lesson plans that we talk about in our course notebook include goals, setting goals, and broader objectives, and what you expect students to be able to do by the end of this unit. In fact, when you submit your application to teach, you that is a question that will be asked of you as you submit your course material, especially to NCBTMB. They will ask you, what is the outcome, expected outcome? And then sometimes they'll ask the students if they really achieve that outcome, how to develop a lesson plan. So you ask yourself three basic questions. Where are your students going? How are they going to get there? And how will you know when they've arrived? And then the written protocol is the course notebook. And so our course notebooks are illustrated. They don't just have words in them. They're words on the page, but they're also images. And my husband just said hi. They're images and technique descriptions, and then videos, and then at the end there's a test, and there's a feedback portion, so the students can give feedback about the course itself and the and how they like the course and what they feel they gain from the course. Classroom activities, how to create classroom activities, how to manage conflict, ADA accommodations. These are some of the things we do cover in our course notebook. Managing conflict, that's really important. I mean, uh, conflict is, we're humans and human nature. Sometimes people just get up in the morning and feel like they have to have a conflict that day, and you're it. So so we want to keep that to a minimum so it doesn't distract the other classmates. If there is some conflict, there's a way to resolve that conflict with by honoring the other person and listening to them and listening to what the conflict is about and make it a learning moment. Everything can be a teachable moment, even conflicts. And so you think about what's causing them to lash out and what you can do to ease the situation so it's not distracting for other people. And then know where to draw the line. ADA accommodations, those are becoming more and more important, especially for people who are ADHD or neurodivergent or have hearing or visual issues, I guess you could say, that need to be addressed in class, and how you can help people enjoy the class at every level. And that's really a wonderful thing, isn't it? That massage therapists come from such broad backgrounds, engineers, accountants, physical therapists, people who are interested in psychology. It's just such a great, diverse group of people. And that includes the ADA accommodation. So we do our very best and encourage everybody to accommodate. Some of the classroom accommodations would include preferential seating, permitting beverages in class, make early availability of syllabus and textbooks. This can be very, very helpful to people who want to put the course notebook on their readers at home before the course so they can see the text. And during an exam, there's also the ADA accommodations, and so obviously you would make certain accommodations for people who actually need those, and that could even include extending time. Marketing, once you have your MTI classes, the world's just not going to be a path to your doorstep. Maybe, but there's got to be some marketing done. And so if you work within the framework of a school, like many massage therapy instructors do, then they do the marketing. But within that framework of a school, you represent that school, and everything you do can be perceived as marketing, either positively or negatively, for those schools. And so you can have a mission statement, a competency statement. Uh, when you do your marketing as an independent massage therapy instructor, as I am, you can list the refund policy. You can add business cards, blogs, podcasts, professional profile. That's so important. I want to know who I'm studying with, and what their background is and how long they've been practicing and what their areas of specializations are. And so that gives people a platform to do that. If you provide good marketing material, it draws people in. And there's nothing better than a website to help you market. I was so happy in 2000 when websites became more available to the general public. And the question wasn't, do you have an email address, but what is your email address? And so people can't believe that I actually marketed before there was the internet. when I marketed my massage therapy classes, massage therapy services. So it was like, you know, notices on a bulletin board. And now we've gotten to the point where we can listen to a class that's being given in Norway, and it's just so beautiful. I'm really happy to be part of the electronic generation and happy that I have the support that I do among my colleagues and friends, and really grateful to Donnell and Biotone for offering me this opportunity to share with you is something that I love so much, and that's the field of massage therapy, particularly as an educator. And Donnell, I see you're back.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. And
Yes.
let's close your PowerPoint. And everyone, please feel free to chat questions or comments for Ariana to answer. And I'll start. You go through a program. So in order to become a massage therapy instructor, you go through a program
Mhm.
and you get a certificate of completion.
Yes.
Then do you go to your state board or you have to go to NCBTMB? I mean, what are the next steps in that
Uh,
process?
Good question, and the answer is both. You go to your state board, which in Texas, you submit your completed 30-hour massage therapy instructor course. You also have to be practicing, or not practicing, but licensed, currently licensed massage therapist. So in Texas, you have to have your LMT, your massage MTI, and your CE provider license. So here in Texas, there are 3 licenses required. And then for NCBTMB, you also have to submit your proof of that you are a massage therapy educator, and then provide proof of that information to NCBTMB. And then once they've reviewed that, they'll accept you as a provider, and then you upload your classes to the NCBTMB platform and they approve the classes. They used to do it manually with printed material. So I got this 40-page printed material for each class that I offered when I first started out, but now it's all electronic and so much easier. I'm so grateful.
All right, I saw some questions come in. Um, whoops, let's see. How do you go about selecting a class to teach that is rare, fun, and educational? I'm finding a hard time looking for subjects to teach that haven't been covered.
That's really good. It's like my background is also in art, and so it's like, how do you find art that hasn't been done? You know, it's like it seems like how do you find a color that hasn't been painted? But it is very interesting because what I did was I did some thinking and thought about the classes, the type of classes that I wanted to offer, and my skill level and my knowledge of science and anatomy and physiology. And so I took the classes that I was drawn to, and I made a promise to myself that I would not teach a class until I had practiced that modality for at least 2 years. And usually I studied with multiple instructors. For example, if I was teaching prenatal massage, I would take one prenatal class and then offer prenatal, and then take another prenatal class and then offer prenatal. And so that would be, you know, it's in some ways it's where my heart took me, but in other ways it was also a logical linear left brain decision because once I established my coursework, I looked at the courses and I said, well, which one is the most popular? And that would be deep tissue. And so I started focusing more and more on deep tissue. And that was it's hard to say that deep tissue is not new, but nobody's ever taught deep tissue like the Ariana Institute teaches deep tissue, for example. So we each approach whatever the modality is with our own unique perspective, because we all have something of value to offer. And so that's the way I looked at it. And there are some classes that I've taken that, quite frankly, I don't really feel qualified to teach. I studied Tracy Walton's oncology class, and I'm going to leave that up to her. You know, that's her area of expertise, and she's very good at it. And there are other oncology teachers who are wonderful too. So it's following your heart, and then logical linear left brain kicks in too.
And Rose is asking, what if you are not an instructor and want to be a CE provider?
Yes, you can. Well, it depends on your state. If you're in Texas, Rose, you can do that. You can be a CE provider without being an MTI, but you can only teach cognitive classes. So you could teach, for example, business classes. At one of the massage schools in Austin, they had a business class teacher who was a CE provider, so he could teach a cognitive class, but he was not an MTI, so he couldn't teach a technique class. So that's how the state of Texas delineates it.
So it sounds like you need to check with your state board
With your
to
state board,
understand.
exactly, yes.
All right, and Charlotte is asking, do you have to be certified with NCBTMB as a massage therapist?
No, I used to be, but I'm not now, and so, I used to be a board certified massage therapist and a massage therapy instructor continuing education provider through NCBTMB, but I made a decision to focus exclusively on my education and the Ariana Institute for Wellness Education, and so I became exclusively an educator. So with NCBTMB, they very kindly let you not be a board certified NCBTMB provider because there are a lot of people who do not practice massage therapy who teach. That's their full-time uh, focus is teaching. That's a very good question. It reminds me, I was talking to someone right before I came here and I said, you know, the scariest part of being a massage therapy instructor is, gee, I hope they don't ask me any hard questions that I can't answer. So I'm glad I could answer that one. And there's always we'll get back to you on that, but yes, that's my experience with NCPTMB, that they allow you do have to be a massage therapist somewhere, licensed in a state somewhere, but you don't have to be an NCPTMB approved provider. Oh,
And Charlotte added on to that question about NCB as a massage therapist to get a course certified for their CE credits.
mhm. Yes, it's a little bit of an involved process, but we did it. I've got 33 courses, so I've done it 33 times. And so when I first started, you submitted all of your material, you submitted your coursework, and they approved or did not approve the coursework. There had to be a certain number of words per page, I remember, and that was a little challenging for some of the technique courses, but we did, you know, we followed their guidelines and explicitly and became approved. So what I did at that time, I don't know what their rules and regulations are now because I haven't had to submit any new courses recently. But when I initially submitted my courses, I submitted the course material and I had to conform to the way they wanted the certificate of completion created. I had to have a signature, a date, the name of the school and the name of the person. And so I just followed their guidelines, which fortunately were the same guidelines that the state of Texas had for the certificate of completion. So it was pretty easy for me in that respect. And I'm also approved in like Florida, New York, and other states, and they require certificates of completion too. And so that was one thing that when NCB TMB told me what their requirements were, I created all the material that they wanted. And then I found out, hey, other states want this and need it for their record keeping. Like Florida, in Florida, you have to submit the certificate of completion to the student, and then you submit the certificate of completion for the student to Florida, where in Texas, you give the certificate of completion to the student, they keep it in their record, and then if need be, if they're audited, they have to submit that certificate of completion to the Texas State Board. So it varies greatly from state to state, as do the number of hours of continuing education hours required each uh, 2 years. In Texas, it's 12 hours, for example.
So it sounds like a good starting point for
Mhm.
anyone interested in becoming an instructor or CE provider is to check the state board for their guidelines on how to do this.
It's essential, yes. And then
Yeah.
once you've gotten state approved, then go national because that'll allow you to teach nationwide. And so, I mean, that's been golden for me to be able to offer classes in New York and Florida and California. Those are the three biggest states for massage therapists. And so I wanted to be sure to be able to offer classes that were approved as continuing education classes in those states.
All right. And Brenda is asking, how do you prove that you are an educator if you are just starting out as an independent CE instructor? In Pennsylvania, you do not need a teacher's license.
Yes, and in Texas, you don't need a teacher's license, that's for sure. As a teacher, from a university type of teaching certification, but you do need a 30-hour massage therapy instructor license. And so, how do you prove that? I don't know who you would need to prove that to, but if you're, for example, if you need to prove that to NCBTMB, what you would do is you send your certificate of completion for your course to NCBTMB. Then you send your course material to NCBTMB, and then they decide whether or not they're going to approve not only the course material, but the subject matter. Because there's some subject matters, basket weaving, that, for example, that would not be appropriate as a massage CE course. And believe me, there are people who try to teach these courses that aren't really relevant. So make sure your course is relevant. In Texas, it's well, I don't know what to say, but they just say in Texas, they say you can teach courses. Oh, how did they word it? Let me think for a moment. You can offer courses as long as they comply with the TDLR rules and regulations. And so that would include like reflexology, deep tissue massage, and other courses like that. And then there are the gray areas of the more esoteric massage therapy courses like Reiki, which NCB does improve now, but for a while they didn't. Yeah.
Okay, and just a quick question before I go on to the next. You send your outline and certification into NCBTMB, let's say. Approximately how long do you have to wait to hear back from them and know if you're approved?
My wait period back in the 2000 was about a summer. It took me an entire summer to create what they wanted at the time and then to submit it. I made the mistake, and please don't do this, of submitting multiple courses at once for my initial application. And so that really complicated matters. So all I really needed to do was submit one course to NCBTMB, become an approved NCBTMB CE provider. And then once I'm an approved NCBTMB provider, then I upload my additional courses and add those to the NCBTMB platform, which is a great marketing tool. And I don't know what I'd do without NCBTMB. They've taken me nationwide, and I really appreciate that.
That sounds great. Now, I don't really know how to pronounce this name, Shawnka.
Honey?
Shawnka. I'm leaving. I'm not saying the end. Anyway, feel free to chat me how to pronounce your name. Do you recommend any licensure or classes for massage educators? Georgia does not require licensure or education to be an educator, but I really want to find classes or programs for MT educators specifically.
Well, that's what I'm offering. The Ariana Institute for Massage, for Wellness Education. The Ariana Institute for Wellness Education has just that class, is becoming a massage therapy instructor. And so it teaches you the things that we reviewed earlier. And in addition to that, many, many, many more topics are addressed. And as I said, I wished I had had that when I became a massage therapy instructor. There was nothing at all like it. And so I'm sure there are other classes. I know the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education would be a good place to connect if you want to learn about being an educator in the massage community. Susan Salvo is a really important part of that community. And I've gone to their workshops and communicated and gotten tutoring by Susan directly. And that's been really helpful to me. So I hope that my course, if you choose to take it, would be helpful to you in that respect also, about designing your courses and marketing your courses and actually dealing with students in a classroom and choosing what courses that you want to offer.
I have a quick question. The Alliance website is afmte.org
Yes,
or .com. Do you know the end of it?
I do not know the end of it. I think it's org. Mhm.
Okay.
You can just Google AFMTE and it'll come up.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's see. I I lost track. If you recommend any, okay. Diane, like you, I'm a career massage therapist for 40 years, and about 20 years ago, I applied to a few schools, but the response was they required college degrees.
Mm. Yes, that is becoming, even in the community colleges here in Texas, they are requiring at least a master's if you want to teach. Even as a massage therapy instructor, you need to have a master's in order to teach at a community college level. And so my answer to that for you would be become an independent CE provider like I do. There's nothing really holding you back from that. And so if you become an independent CE provider, then you're not obligated to conform to the rules of the school because you're not in a school environment. You are the school. Although I'm not really a school, I'm a continuing education program to be, technically correct. But that would be my suggestion would be to start your business as an independent massage therapy instructor. If you don't want to go back and get a master's degree or whatever degree they're requiring. Some states allow experience as instead of the degree. And I find that to be really helpful for someone who may have been working in a school for 10 years teaching, and then they decide they want to go on their own to teach. Then I hope that they would be allowed to do that by utilizing their experience rather than the education they may or may not receive in either a community college or a four-year university.
All right, thank you.
I mean, I do, yeah, go ahead. I do have a degree, but it doesn't really matter in this profession. So many people my age got degrees in things that we don't even use anymore. But I'm glad I got it, but it doesn't relate to massage therapy. I have a BA and a BFA in fine arts and psychology from the University of Texas. So I have that, and that may have gotten my foot in some doors, but it's not something that I use on a day-to-day basis, other than knowing some big words. But I learned more big words in the massage community than I did in school.
And Melissa is asking, if your MTI license has lapsed, do we have to retake the 30-hour course again in Texas?
No, you do not.
Okay. And Shay, thank you for letting me know how to pronounce your name. I appreciate that. Charlotte is asking or saying, I took Ariana's 30-hour MTI education class a few years back and can highly recommend it.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
thank you so much.
And let's see. Melissa, does the Ariana Institute offer online courses for becoming a CEU provider?
Well, the MTI course is both. It's really both because becoming a CE provider in Texas anyway is limited to cognitive courses. And so if you only wanted to offer cognitive courses, you could become a CE provider without taking a class. But if you want to teach technique or anything else, then you would need to have that certification, the 30-hour class.
Okay. I wanted to say that Renee confirmed the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education is afmte.org. And I skipped one of Rose's questions, so I'm going to have to look for that. Let's see, Carolyn, I took Ariana's 30-hour MTI. Oh, and highly recommend it. Okay, here's Rose. What are some of the site links to find further information on what are the requirements and to apply for a CE provider in Florida?
You go to the Florida Board of Massage, and in that Florida Board of Massage framework, you would search go to license and then search for CE provider license. And there's the information that you need there, which would include your application, and they would let you know whatever qualifying documents you need to submit. In Texas, you need to submit a copy of the completion, your certificate of completion, showing that you've taken a 30-hour MTI class, or if you're just a CE provider, I can honestly say I haven't had that experience. So I don't know what to say about that in Florida, but I would suggest contacting the Florida board and looking online first and looking under licenses and see what the requirements are. in their license category. That's where you find it in Texas too. You look under license and then you say massage therapy instructor, and then it pops up and it shows you the form you need to fill out. You need to fill out the form you need to send a completed certificate of completion, and then you need to pay, I think it's the $200 application fee. And then every 2 years you have to pay another fee, licensing fee, both as a CE provider, an LMT, and a massage therapy instructor.
All right. And I might ask you for that information again. Rose had said one link was provided, the Florida Massage Therapy.gov/education and training programs. So is that the direction to point people in, or do you know anything more in Florida? Or just go to the educators page on the board and that should tell you?
I would go to the license, the Florida website, and then go to the licensing, and then look under the licensing requirements. And I know in Florida, you have to, we, as a massage therapy educator, have to submit all of our completion records to the Florida board. And there's a special group that does that for Florida and Georgia and several other states, where they receive the completion information from the provider rather than from the participant, from the student massage therapist.
All right. Now, what if you wanted to present classes at AMTA, chapter meetings, or national, or any of the other trade shows, World Massage Festival? Do you need to have your CE provider license or an educator license? I mean, how does that work for
I
people interested?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I know the World Massage Festival encourages people to be nationally approved. And I believe almost all, if not all, of their classes are offered by people who are NCBTMB approved providers. Although I think there are some exceptions to that rule. And usually having the NCBTMB provider status is a golden ticket into conferences and workshops like that. Although I do know people who are excellent, very excellent teachers who teach, for example, ethics, and they may not be NCBTMB approved providers, but they're known in the community. They've been doing it for a long time, and they have a big following. And so I don't know if it's a strict requirement or not, but I know it certainly does help to have that, because anybody could just say, well, I know how to teach and let me teach at your World Massage Festival in Las Vegas next year. But it's good to have some credentials behind your name, because it helps you get your foot in the door, and then you have a website and they can look at your website, and then you send them samples of your course material and they can review that. And so it's not something that organizations take lightly. I mean, they really want to have quality people and quality workshops at their you know, at their experiences. And I agree that it's important to do that. And it's a matter of integrity to really know your subject matter and to be qualified to teach it. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Good point. Rose had asked about the Florida links. She had mentioned the Massage Therapy.gov education and training program, and
Mhm.
you had mentioned another link.
The Florida Board of Massage Therapy. Is that what she's saying, .gov? It might be that.
Okay,
Yes.
so she should go back to the Florida Board of Massage Therapy. Once there, look under the education, educators.
Let's see.
Oh, you're going to get right to it. That's
Yes.
great.
Let's see, Florida. I'll take
Okay, and
exactly.
everyone, we still have a few more minutes for comments and questions before we wrap up.
Oh,
And thank
so
you so much. Good
it's
question.
called Florida CE Broker. Florida CE Broker at www.cebroker.com. That's who you submit your course material to. And in order to, you can also contact the Florida Department of Health if you have any questions about what courses are and are not approved in Florida. And my contact there is Christy Robinson. Florida Department of Health is FL, F is in Frank, L is in Love, Health, HEALTH.gov. And so those are people you could contact. And also you could contact my friend Pete Whitridge,
Oh, yeah.
Whitridge. He's in Florida, and I've asked him a lot of questions about teaching in Florida, and he's been very happy to answer. We met through the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education, and so he's a good resource.
All right. Now, a last question with Brenda. Does the Ariana Institute offer an online Zoom course on becoming an instructor, or do you have to come to Texas?
Oh, no, all of these courses are online. And so the MTI course is only online, and you don't have to come to Texas. You can if you want to. I'd be happy to host you, take you out to dinner, but you don't have to do that. All my courses are available 24/7, and they're all available at the Ariana Institute website. And so you can take them in your pajamas and just have a relaxed experience. And then you take you read the notebook, you take the course, read the notebook, you have a test at the end, and then if you need to pass the test with a 75% pass rate, and then you're issued your certificate of completion. And then once you have that certificate of completion, then you submit that to wherever you want to teach. If you want to teach at a spa or school or independently or AMTA, then you say, yeah, I've got this certificate of completion that I am, have taken this massage therapy instructor course, because the course isn't just designed for people who want to become massage therapy instructors. It's also a wonderful course for people who already are massage therapy instructors, because it gives good ideas about how to manage a classroom, how to arrange a classroom, how to work with ADA compliance, and many, many other topics. How to make your lesson plan, your syllabus. What is a syllabus? It's like, it's very, very comprehensive, and I think it would be a wonderful guide to use, not only to get that certificate of completion, but also to keep it available to yourself so you can review it if you have questions that come up as you're a new teacher.
Okay. A few last questions came in, and Brenda is asking, when does the next class or course start?
Right this second.
Okay.
You
So
can
it's
go.
a rolling start
Yes,
date.
you can go right to the website now and sign up for the class and begin it immediately, and then take it at your leisure. And then once you've submitted your test information, you immediately download your certificate of completion. So you don't have to wait for a cycle to begin. And for me, that's wonderful for a cognitive class, especially like the massage therapy instructor class, which is a very cognitive class, to be able to access it online at your leisure. And you can, one thing I learned from Susan Salvo when I was designing my MTI class was chunking information. She said it's really important that you chunk information, that you don't have like this long alphabetical list of what's, for your table of contents. And so we went back and chunked all the information in categories. And so for me, it's easier to learn if I can chunk information. So I may want to read like three chapters at a time, and then digest that and think about it, and then go back and read the next three chapters. And so that's one thing that I love about online learning, is that you can go back and review it, and you can do it in the leisure of your own home. And it's kind of a mixed bag not having fellow students in the classroom with you, because I do enjoy that very much. But it's nice not having any interruptions for your massage therapy instructor course, where you can just focus on the course itself and the course material. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always contact us.
Yes, and under Ariana's image, and by her name is also her website. And just a few last questions. Someone is asking the cost of the instructor course,
It's 320.
$320.
Mhm.
And Rose is asking, are there classes about apprenticeship?
No, we don't have any classes about apprenticeships, because that's not something that's allowed in Texas. You can't do an apprenticeship program and get licensed in Texas. And I know there are places where you can do that. And I know my Lomi Lomi teacher, Pualani Gillespie, did exactly that. She apprenticed herself with Auntie Margaret for years and years and years, and that's how she learned Lomi Lomi. And when I studied Lomi Lomi with Pualani in Hawaii, she even took us over to Auntie Margaret's house, which is kind of like a sacred place in terms of Lomi Lomi. And she showed us the house and the right on the water. It was so beautiful. And so she did an apprenticeship program, which in Hawaii at the time was acceptable. And then I don't know what additional information, education that she had, but she's one of the best teachers I ever had. And that apprenticeship program worked well for her. So I support that type of learning. And I do not offer it myself, but I encourage people who do offer it and whose states accept it to participate in it. And even if it's not available for CE credit, dang, what a good experience that would be to put yourself at the hands of a master and learn from them directly. And so, yes, I really
Very
agree
good.
with that whole idea of apprenticeships.
And Shay is asking, do you offer any training for schools to train their educators?
All the time, yes. In fact, the Lauderstein Conway School of Massage in Austin used my course notebook and my MTI course exclusively for their educators. And so that was, I felt really happy when David told me that. And that was, yes, a lot of schools do insist that the people who are teaching in their program complete an MTI class. And in David's case, David Lauderstein's case, it was mine that they chose for their school.
Well, we're getting a lot of thank yous and I need to focus on wrapping up. So I'm quickly going to do a closing for you saying the books behind you can be found on Amazon.com. I will include the link in tomorrow's follow-up email. And please join us in for the last talk in November, on November 26th, right before Thanksgiving, with Kelly Lenny, Expand Client Sense of Well-Being Through Social Wellness Trends and Ancient Healing Traditions. Then in December, we finish out the year with 2 Massage Edu Talks. On December 3rd, we have Taya Countryman. Structural Relief Therapy Reveals the Cause of Carpal Tunnel Syndrome. And then on December 10th, we have Scott Raymond, How Posture Affects TMJ Dysfunction. And in January 2025, we begin EduTalks again on January 7th with part 1 with Jared Cooper, The New Science of Myofascial Release, and he will do a part 2 on January 21st. So watch your inbox. Always you can visit biotone.com. Under the EduTalk tab, you can find the link to RSVP. You can visit the archive library, which has recorded EduTalk since, gosh, July 2020. And if you do watch an old talk and want a copy of the handout, just email me. And we also do the EduTalk Diabetes series, and on biotone.com, under the EduTalk, you can also find the contact for the EduTalk Diabetes series and RSVP information for the library. Will we be on an email list now to receive? Yes. Yes, you will. And thank you so much, everyone. I'm sorry we've run out of time, Ariana. I appreciate it so much. And tomorrow afternoon, if you haven't received the follow-up, please check back. Thank you for all you do, and be well and be safe. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Danielle, and thank Biotone for me.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everyone.